Hello and welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys have actually made it into they have made the journey thanks to Pappy's piloting and I believe Mel did the astrogation. They made it through the gravitic shell into the center of the Terminus Point star system. And what did they find? They found the primary star hidden in this shell of hundreds of singularities. They found the primary star sitting there and a single planet. And the single planet is almost a near perfect garden world. There's no taint to the atmosphere, zero point 0.9 G's gravity, about a 30 degrees Celsius mean equatorial temperature, and all of these continents that are on the world are covered in lush vegetation. They have found some areas where the vegetation seems to be sickly and dying off, and there are some areas where it is completely barren. They have also detected that there are towns and one major city, and that the planet is populated by a group of people that oddly enough seems neither surprised by seeing them, and their assumption evidently is that they must be from another town or from some other area on the planet. And they're not shocked by the technology that they see. They're not scared by by seeing a ship land, and they're not scared by seeing the travelers walk around with weapons or technology. And yet their civilization is probably cusping on that in between Stone Age and Bronze Age kind of tech level. They're for the most part tech level 1. And so it's very interesting. They're not scared of the travelers at all. They're very peaceable. The other thing that the travelers have noticed is that there doesn't seem to be any kind of major predators on the planet. They've found large herds of what appear to be like a cross between sheep and deer. They're just calling them deeroids. And there are large herds of these things that move and graze about. They're obviously hunted by the people of Terminus Point. But beyond that, they don't find any large predatory animals that are a danger to anyone. And so the travelers have set up a mining operation and have been down there for a couple of weeks mining, or in order to fix or do the repairs on Deep Night Revelation. She'd suffered terrible damage coming through the gravitic shell, and there's some things that just will never be fixed, but they're doing their best to get things, no pun intended, ship shape. So that's where we will be picking up. Before we start, I would like to mention to anybody who is watching the video, please, if you are interested in playing Castles and Crusades, I am going to be running a Braunhaven Castles and Crusades mini horror campaign over the summer for Troll Lord Games Summer of Siege. It will take place on Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with a session 0 happening on May 28th at around 6 p.m. We will be basically playing every week, Thursday nights during those times. New players are perfectly welcome to join. So if you are interested, I will put my Discord name in the comments down below. It is SyntherX, all in word, SYNTHERX. And you can send me a message on Discord, and we can get you set up if you're interested in playing. All right, so you guys, like I said, you guys have been here for around 2 weeks. You're to the point now where excuse me, the ore is starting to be transferred back and forth. There are regular ships that are leaving your mining site, going up to Revelation, coming back down there, cycling in and out crew members in order to do this operation. During this time, the science division is really chomping at the bit. They want to send down teams to start uh, surveying Terminus Point. They want to do some exploration. They want to do experimentation. They want to catalog creatures. But the captain and the first officer is leaving that up to you. You guys are doing your resume job, the one that you were hired for. You are doing that right now. So they are basically delegating that decision to you. How do you feel about science teams coming down and doing their thing?
Same protocol where there's always security, double the security than from normal,
Okay.
and have everybody carry flame.
So flame rifles for everybody.
Yeah, vac suit. Everybody remains vac suited. Assume you're in hostile territory. Assume there is going to be fungus that will land on your vac suits. I mean, yeah, you're in hostile.
That's not the answer I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more along the lines of my initial reaction, which was, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Personally, I feel like we need to just focus on getting the ship running and then figure out how to destroy this planet.
Right. We're not going to study something and we're going to turn to fucking a cinder.
Well, I mean, we may need to study it to figure that out.
Okay.
Because we don't technically have planet busters with us.
Pappy, how do you feel about all of this?
As long as I'm not the farrier, I don't care.
You've probably done some missions back and forth, but no, this would be they would actually these scientists would actually use your base camp, or at least use your mining operation as a base camp, and kind of branch off from there. They're coming down in pinnaces with their ground vehicles. And I was thinking about this after, of course, an afterthought. There is a secondary ship that you guys had with you. Uh, she did not make it. She did not follow you through the gravitic shell. This would be the Soleimani ship that came with you.
Yep.
And there was, I mean, you only had the one device. She wasn't going to be able to make it through. So she's out in the Terminus Point system outside the gravitic shell with no ability to contact you whatsoever, just kind of doing a wait and see kind of situation. And so you don't have any of those crew members, the Soleimani crew, with you. But yeah, these pinnaces are coming down. They set up a small scientific base camp, and they bring down some of their ATVs. Which one am I looking at here?
Nothing good can come from this.
Yeah, they bring down some Ardent ATVs, Ranger ATVs, probably a couple of Scariers. All wheeled vehicles. They do bring down a couple of the Vendara air raft ATVs, but for the most part, they're keeping everything wheeled and just kind of exploring around. Also, during this time, everybody can make not everybody. Pappy and Mel, you can make a athletics endurance check. Well, no, that's not really right. Roll 2d plus your intellect. Okay. And Sarda, you once again can roll telepathy plus psi.
I'm not finding my character sheet for some strange reason.
That's odd. I can see it in the journal. Under characters.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a whole bunch of shit here that got tacked to the top because
I don't have a characters section.
you don't have a journal section?
We got the journal section. I'm in journal. The top one's Deepnight Revelation Science Pod.
Right.
Skill packages, infected Leviathan, and then it goes down to handouts. And there's no character section or my character. Usually my character's right up there at the top.
That is peculiar. Now let me try to clean this up. Wow, it is laggy. Are you connected in through the Roll20 or the Roll20 app on Discord?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you might try disconnecting from the app in Discord and just opening up. Obviously keep Discord open, and opening it up in on a web page and see if that changes anything.
I gotta remember my password now.
Right.
Oh, now it works. I disconnected here and came back, and now it's working.
Mm.
All right.
It must have just loaded in weird. Like, I am noticing that it is quite laggy tonight. So maybe it just didn't load all the way. Anyways. Okay. So, Sarda, you, throughout these 2 weeks, it has been a pretty much non-stop barrage of these welcoming, pleasant emotions that are inviting you to come to the city. There's only one on the planet, so I mean, there's no need to. I don't think it has a name. It just is the city. And so you've been constantly receiving these invitations, this overwhelming sense of welcoming and pleasant friendship, you know, etc. Mel, you've been getting the same kind of this urge. You're not like hearing voices or anything, but you have gotten this urge. However, Mel, you are perfectly able to recognize it for what it is. And you know that you and Serta both know that this is coming from the entity.
Yep.
Pappy, you are getting this same feeling, and you know where it's coming from, but in your head, I mean, you are just flooded with this calm, comforting, welcoming feeling to come to the city. And Pappy would be, whether he's voiced it or not, internally, you're probably feeling like, at this point, maybe this isn't a bad idea. Maybe maybe everything that we've seen, the entity is different here than it has been anywhere else. So maybe going to the city isn't such a bad idea. Because if you remember, and this would be part of Pappy's way of thinking about this, is that the impetus for the mission was never, show up and destroy it. The impetus was...
It's been pretty clear from the beginning. I know that I joined late, but that sure sounds like our fucking mission right there.
There was always there was always a scientific thought that if one of these clusters were to grow to a larger size, and we already knew that it had some telepathic ability, the thought was always like, if you could communicate with it and put an end to the threat peacefully, then to do so. You guys, being the commanders of the mission team, the original idea was kind of Stargate SG-1, first in, last out. The original idea of your team was a strike team. Like, all right, well, if the shit hits the fan, you guys go in, light everything on fire, set off a nuke, and get the fuck out of there, and we'll call it good. But if you could negotiate or talk to the entity and put a stop to, this threat peacefully, then to do so. I mean, Deepnight, what is it? LIC, Limited Imperial Corporation. And of course, the Imperium themselves don't want to voice the idea of essentially genocide. But at the same time, they know that the entity is a threat. And so, there was always that underlying nuke everything theology, or philosophy. But on the surface, they're like, if you can negotiate with them, do so. So Pappy...
It's a planetary existential crisis. Yeah, go ahead and negotiate with them. It'll be fine.
Right. Well, it's more than planetary. I mean, this could be galactic-wide.
They might have sent the wrong team if they wanted this to be peaceful.
Right. All
right. It's not...
All Pappy's trying to say is, ain't nothing a little love can't kill her.
All right. It's not that I don't enjoy playing with you guys, but I will take one for the fucking team. I will go to this city. I will discuss whatever the hell it wants to discuss. I will come back. I will give you the download. You can believe it or not believe it, and then you will light me on fucking fire.
Meanwhile, Pappy's like, well, I've got some Marvin Gaye. We can play that in the background,
Give me some good drugs before you light me on fire. But you can light me the fuck on fire.
Just don't take the back to operate.
Also, during this 2 weeks, everybody roll a d6. Well, it's looking like Pappy so far. Bless you. Yep, it's Pappy. So, during this 2 weeks, Pappy, There was. I have to find him now. There he is. If you remember when you first arrived, there were some of the people that that were watching you, and one of them was Enraxu. And Enraxu is old. He's about 68. He's, and it's obvious to you that he's older than the other ones. Pappy, during this 2 weeks, towards the end of this 2 weeks, and while you are kind of having this thought, that maybe it's not such a bad idea to go to the city, you once again see the villagers from a nearby village. They're coming into the edge of the forest line, not far from your mining operation, and the villagers have kind of been welcoming to you too. They've brought you guys food and drink, and they've offered bows and stonework stonework knives, things like that, and they leave them at the edge of the forest for you. But Pappy, you run into during helping out some of the scientists with their crap. And Raxu kind of waves you down and calls you to him. He kind of motions for you to come to him.
I mean, he's one of the not city ones, so I'll go talk to him, I guess.
So you make your way over to him, and he holds out his bow, and it is clear to you that this is a handmade, very nice, excellent craftsmanship hunting bow, and he holds this out to you, and he says that before he goes, he wants you to have this, and he wants you to have this as a gift to welcome you, to welcome your village into the society.
Oh, shit. Whoa. What, you ain't got somebody else in your village you can give this to?
Well,
Shoot,
he's come and gone before, and this is a very specific request. He's very specifically saying, before I go, I want you to have this.
Go where?
I will
Stand
humbly
by.
accept it, but totally take it back to the team and be like, yo, he gonna go? And I don't know if that means dead or something else, but yeah.
He tells you that when he gives you the bow, he just kind of he describes it as, it's my time, and gives you the bow.
Random question.
Yeah.
Do we notice the age of the people in this village that's out here to be in general older than the people that were in the villages that we passed?
So no, I mean the nearby village is, and you get this information from the science teams. They've gotten close. They've gone into the village. Anywhere from infants to 70 years old. Most of these hunting teams, I mean, if you're using Enraxu as a visual indicator, you would believe that the average age of the other hunters is anywhere from, 15 to 16 years old to 30 years old. He seems to be the oldest one in the group at about 68.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Well, I share with the team that he's gonna go, and I go, I'm not sure if this means like he's gonna die or if he has to like go on some like journey of end of life cycle thing.
yeah, his exact wording was that it is his time to walk into the forest.
Any anthropologists that want to like research that with him?
He's going to go get eaten by the entity.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and you tell the rest of the group, hey, this look at this cool bow. This guy's taken off into the forest. Anthropologist, that's a good question. So, so the few anthropologists that are down there with you, actually, there's probably more than a few considering the situation. But the few that are at your base camp, they all come to the consensus that you're right. He's probably going into the forest somewhere to die. And they cite multiple examples of several different species or races of aliens, even humans, that have done this in the past. And they cite examples, and they go on to a long, nerdy conversation about this, that this isn't really that abnormal. The one thought that does come up, though, among the group is that he doesn't. I mean, he's older, and he's obviously older than the rest of the hunting parties that you've seen, but he doesn't seem terribly infirm or sick in any way.
Yeah, but when he goes and gets devoured, all of his knowledge of us gets conveyed to the entity.
Well, it would be. I wouldn't
Does he
say.
even have
I
like
would. I was going to
knowledge
say
of us other than we're outsiders?
it. Not really. They.
Watching what we're doing.
But I mean, so Sarda would, because of all of the psychic invitations that you've received, Sarda would have a different view of this. The entity already knows most about you. Sarda, on the one hand, has a telepathic shield that is automatically up. Nobody else has that. So I would think that Sarda would probably know that. Um, if the entity's already sending these kinds of things telepathically, there's a very good chance that it already knows everything that you're doing because it can read the minds of everybody else, right? Or at the very least,
I'm sure that's the case, but it still gets, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So Pappy, you've got. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We should have put a little. We should have put a little tracker on him, something that records everything that's happening, so we could see exactly what happens to him at the end here.
I mean, Pappy, you're given this bow. I mean, he's kind of waiting for you to come back. I mean, it's up to you. You could ask him if you wanted to follow him or if you wanted to just put a tracker on him.
I personally am super curious. I want to go, but unless they stop me, I'll be like, well, I mean, I can recon this, and I'll just keep a little bit of a distance in case the entity comes to swallow him. I'll have my weapons to flame it or whatever.
Okay. Let's see.
I mean, I'm already having that come join us message, so my curiosity's probably uber peaked.
Yeah. So I thought there was a picture for this, but evidently not. So you come. I mean, you come back to Enraxu, and you kind of tell him that you want to follow him. Um, and he at first is like kind of he at first he says, that it doesn't look like it's your time. You don't need to come with me, is what he says.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a companion on your way out?
And he kind of shrugs, and he just tells you to follow him, and he leads you off into the forest, and you hike probably a good 4 clicks into this pretty dense uh, jungle foliage, and make a recon plus intellect check.
Like I wasn't already looking around me like with all of the awareness.
Right. Yeah, you can make a recon plus intellect check, and you get that with a boon. So roll 3, take the 2 highest. So, um, moving moving into the forest.
Roll take the 2 highest and it's a shit roll no matter what.
Yeah, right. So moving into the forest, you do note specifically that like you see a number of these deeroids. You see a few birds in the air. None of them bolt and take off running from you. They all seem very placid, and he kind of leads you through the forest, and he takes you up to this pale green area, and there is a small mound with a opening that's maybe 1 meter in height, and it's just this cave-like opening, and all of the vegetation around it is sickly and dying.
Sorry, had to do father shit.
You had to do what?
Father shit.
Oh, yes. And so you see him, and he turns to you, and he says, once again, that he welcomes you, and he tells you that the rest of the villagers are very welcoming, and that you're always they're always happy to assist you in whatever way that you need, and basically says his goodbyes and goes to this opening and kind of stoops down, and he's walking into it.
But this is surrounded by dead vegetation.
Yeah, it's all sickly and dying. You know how when you leave a salad bag open for too long in the refrigerator? Yeah, it looks like that.
I report this back to the team, but I do not follow him.
Okay, so yeah, you see him go inside, and I mean, you probably wait a good 10-15 minutes, and you don't see him come back out. And so you kind of turn around and head back.
Kind of want to send a drone in there.
You probably could do that. I mean, you have...
I'm not going in the hole. But
I'm sure that you guys would have other drones.
Yeah, the real
even if
issue
it's
is
like a simpler drone, just some kind of something. What's in there?
you actually need a pretty sophisticated drone because you're probably not going to be able to control it through the earth. So you need one that's smart enough to just sort of fly around and map out the area and leave. You need one that kind of has a Roomba mode.
Do we have that? Or do I come back and say, hey, I found this hole. This is where he went, and tell the team what happened? Because I don't have to do it. I can report back, and somebody else more equipped can do it.
Well, I have one right here that I know you guys would have plenty of, considering what you are currently doing. up. Uh, I'm sure you have plenty of scientific type drones too, but just for shits and giggles, we know that you have these.
All right, so forgive me for missing all this, but I'm assuming he's going down to become one with the entity,
I mean that
we're playing Avatar.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of the assumption here. He just came up. He gave Pappy his prized handmade hunting bow, and said that he wanted him to have it to welcome you guys to the village or your village to the area, and that it was his time to walk into the forest. So you would have these. I mean, this is an asteroid mining drone, but I'm sure that you would have these flitting around, considering what the mining operation that you're doing. There's courier drones, off-world construction drones. I mean, there's a sky spotter.
We would want one that can definitely I mean, if it can go into the mine and come out on its own, that's good. If it has to be operated at all, that's not good.
I would think that there would just be a like
The peeping that little peeping bot. I mean, it doesn't move very quick, but I mean, it's designed to just be covert.
The spy drone, yeah, the sky spotter.
I was even thinking of the really tiny one, the micro.
Microbots.
That little peeping. It's like peeping something. It's like it.
Yeah, it's a Roomba.
It's a little tiny thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's.
It looks like a nickel.
Yeah, it's about the size of a nickel. Yeah, I mean either way. So yeah, I mean you've got some drones. I was for scientific drone. They don't have just a little 4-wheel drive wheeled drone. Yeah, give me 6 wheels. It's a big track. It's got the keypad on the back. Just go in, tell me what you see, turn around, and come back out. That's all they need you to do. But yeah, you have access to drones if you want to send a drone in there.
Yeah, I honestly don't care what kind, because if it gets attacked, that also does something hostile.
True. If I remember correctly. So like the old vehicle handbook had stuff for drones on it, and I think they ditched that because drones are more of a robot thing. No, here's drones. And any vehicle can be a drone, right? So yeah, you can. Do you have make an electronic? So you're going to drop down a drone, and you can make a electronics remote ops plus dex check.
You may do it.
Say, I'm going to drop a drone. A drone is going to be dropped.
A drone is going to be dropped.
Not necessarily by me, but.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I don't have that skill. I'm hey, we should send a drone down there.
So yeah, I mean, if you radio back, I mean, I'm sure that
I can handle it. 14.
Yeah, so you radio back, and Sarda sends out a drone, and you kind of point out, and he sends it into this cave. Your assumption is correct. As soon as this drone goes into this cave system, you can see it's not very deep. Maybe it might go 900 meters underground. And the entire way you're seeing the tendrils and the fungal growth, and then finally you get into this final large underground cavern area, and there is a rather large cluster down there, and you can see that Enraxu is kind of just standing there, kind of in with all of these uh, creeper tendrils wrapped around him, and they seem to have punctured his flesh in multiple places, and he's just standing there taking it, becoming one with the entity. So what would you like to do?
I kind of want to talk to the villagers and be like, so what's that about?
Yeah, I mean, Pappy, while this drone's down there, you can start hiking to the nearest village. There would be a
With his
village.
bow in hand.
Sure, there's a village right up here. You can certainly hike to. By the time you get to the village, it's the sun is already starting to set. And you
Like
kind
totally breaking like the biggest rule of like don't split the party. I'm just totally on my own adventure, wandering off.
of you make your way into the village, and
I mean, you're in radio contact with us, so it's not.
right, and they've got fairly quick Vendaru air raft vehicles. They can get to you in minutes. So you as you kind of come out of the forest line and come into this village, the people see you and they wave to you and then go back about their business. They're not particularly shocked to see you. They're not scared to see you, and you can see that that as the sun is starting to set, you can see that these huts around this village are starting to light, simple lanterns inside, and people are starting to gather into some of the larger communal huts, and they're cooking food. They've got fires set up with flat stone tops where they can cook food on and things like that, and they wave you in, kind of, come on, food's on. What are you doing?
I will not eat, but I will commune with them and just kind of like chat and be like, hey, so I just met with the dude who had this bow, and he was like, hey, it's my time. Have a bow.
And
What's that about?
one of them looks over the bow and says, "Oh yes, that is that belonged to Enraxu. He has moved on." And
Does everyone
they
move
all
on
kind of
that
go.
way?
Here's a make a recon plus intellect check. So as you were coming into the village, you see that there's farmland. You see that there are a number of these large huts with grass reed kind of roofs. Um, they've got they're not completely bereft um, of all technology. Like they have it's tech level 1, but they've got working stoves that they've created from stone and things like that. The thing that you don't see, and that you would expect to see of any um, civilized gathering area or settlement, there's no sign of any cemetery or graveyard. there's no signs of burial plots anywhere.
We don't.
Where do you keep your dead?
I need to find your dead.
We know why.
And so, yeah, he just tells you that bow belonged to Enraxu, and he's moved on. And nobody around the tables that are eating seems to be concerned or sad or... I mean, they're going about it like nothing's happened, like this is perfectly normal.
Do I share that I know about the entity kind of absorbing him, or
It's up to you.
Well, I'll say something along the lines of, I noticed you don't have like any graveyard here. So does everybody kind of become one with this planet when they die?
And I'm looking at that right now. So, nobody, when you ask this, nobody actually seems to necessarily shy away from discussing it. But they don't. It's obvious that they don't routinely bring it up for any particular reason. But it would be more along the same lines as, like, if there was a visitor to your planet, you don't necessarily bring up that there's a starport a kilometer to the north. You know, they just don't think to really talk about it. They tell you that they give you a fairly basic explanation that when it is their time, and it's different for everybody, but usually it means that they are elderly, that they will know, and they go into the forest to be one with the dweller. They just refer to it as the dweller. And you don't get the impression that you do not get the impression that the dweller is a god, and you don't get the impression that they worship it in any way. This is just the way of things.
You don't need to worship.
Huh.
You don't need to worship oxygen. This thing's made them completely dependent on him.
Yeah, they respond to your questions in the same way that you would respond to an out-of-town visitor asking where the local crematorium would be. And they're just like, oh, it's... What a weird question. You go.
I mean, like at this point, like totally normal to them. This is the way it is. I mean, they've been living here for however many years. You said like 2000 or something like that?
Well, I mean, so the Droin were here 300,000 years ago, and they had noted that there was already the gravitic shell in the middle of the system. So who knows? This gravitic shell could have been here for billions of years. It could have been here for the last 4 billion years. Who knows what has happened, on this particular world.
Okay, fair. That I mean, like,
it would
no
be
different than if we'd been here, something been happening for 300,000 years for us. We'd be like, yeah, that's just the way it's done.
Right.
We wouldn't have any thought about why.
It would be safe to assume that that the entity has been here before these people evolved. That would be a safe assumption. But it's not. You guys have not witnessed. It is not behaving the way the entity has in other places. It is not. if it was acting the way it had in the other locations that you have been to, these people wouldn't exist at all because whatever they evolved from would have been devoured long before that, and the world would be completely dead. And that's not what you're seeing.
It makes me want to like be like, hey, Entity, do you know you have cousins out there just killing everything?
So that thought occurs to you, and you again get this. You get flooded with a sense of, in addition to the welcoming to come see the city, there's a tinge of sadness at that thought that you had.
That I definitely share with them when I get back with them. Like, because that's the first time it's not been like, hey, come talk to us. Because first time it's been like, yeah, I don't like that.
But yeah, I mean,
It's childish in its rebellious phase.
it's young and stupid, you know.
Probably never realized it could leave, and we may be proof that it can.
Yeah,
So that could be bad.
right. That can be terrifying in and of
that
itself.
would be good.
That wouldn't have been like sadness. That would have been like surprise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a definite twinge of sadness at the thought of, there's others like you out there that are essentially destroying themselves in an attempt to evolve or to stay alive, and yeah, you just get this twinge of
Destroying
sadness.
themselves and everything they come in contact with, not just themselves, but like and everything else around them.
Right. You also get, along with that, an underlying, I mean, the only way to put it is there is an undercurrent along with all of these emotions and this welcoming feeling and the twinge of sadness, but beneath all of that is this infinite hunger that's being held in check.
This one's learned how to survive its hunger in a way that isn't like kill everything, while all the other ones have been like, we see, we eat. That's all we do. We see, we eat.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, how long are you staying in the village? The villagers are perfectly happy to put you up for the night.
I mean, I see no harm in staying till morning, provided like they don't come messing with me.
I'd consider how long your vac suit lasts.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, how long?
Yeah, your vac suit's good
If
for
the vac
what?
suit won't last, then I'll catch a cab home.
I think it's. I'll call an Uber. Yeah, it's good. Your vac suit's only good for 7 hours, so.
Home I go. I will probably call for a pickup from one of the shuttles that's ferrying people in and out of town. I'll walk my way out of the village and get picked up outside.
Okay, so yeah, you catch a ride and are ferried back to the mining settlement, and I mean, yeah, you relay this information. Now, while this has all been going on, Sarda and Mel, you asked a very pertinent question last week before we cut, is that you wanted the labs aboard, you wanted samples of the spores here taken to Deepnight and examined. You wanted to see if there was any change in the genetic makeup of these spores versus ones that you have seen previously. The answer is no. They are exactly the same in genetic makeup. So, and this actually goes a step further. they're not just exact. They're not the same just in the DNA structure and genetic and the overall genetic makeup. They're exactly the same in all aspects. So that would mean that
Like a
the
rhizome.
they're twins or
Yeah.
quadruplets or what have you. Every entity that you have done any kind of battle with previously is all based in the same genetic makeup, assuming that this is the one that they all came from. They're all basically clones.
Rhizome. All right. Yeah, we need to be developing a virus that targets the.
I really want to see if this entity has a way of like controlling the other entity. Because like if this one
I think
can
this
like
is a.
chill
I
and
think this is a
coexist,
high. I think this is a highly intelligent one that has figured out how to completely create and dominate lower life forms. And if they were to somehow figure out how to get out of this containment bubble, they would take over the entire universe.
I
This
feel
is
like that's what
why
happened with those asteroids. That like it sent an asteroid out, and that's how it got out.
this is why my daughter looked at me very confused. This is about a year ago or whatever the fuck it came out when I told her that Avatar is a horror movie, and she didn't understand why.
Right.
We need to fix the ship and get the hell out of here. You're destroying it, the planet.
So the estimates that you get back from the mining operations that probably another, I mean, of course they'll continue to it, but they think that probably another 2 weeks, maybe 4. 2 weeks on best side, 4 on the outside. That they should meet the requirement for repairs to commence. And they said, you know, they'll keep mining, of course, but that's to pad any issues.
Got it.
So I mean, what are your guys' plan? What do you want to do here? I mean, you've been telepathically and empathically invited to the city, which Pappy would be feeling like, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, how much longer? I mean, we have to make extensive repairs to the ship.
Right.
What does it look like? What does that window look like?
So they're manufacturing parts as quickly as possible. Your best estimate, focusing on you were focusing on the M drive and the hull integrity first. Those two combined are looking at about 3 months worth of repairs. Power plants are currently functional. You're down one secondary power plant, like permanently. Power plant repairs, they're probably looking at another month on top of that. The J drive didn't specifically take any damage as it wasn't in use and it lucked out purely because of its location. It didn't take any damage coming through the gravitic shell.
Good.
Now the network, I forget what they call it, but there's a web that is on the surface of every jump capable ship that is tied to the jump drive. That of course took some damage, but that again, that's a part of the hull repairs. So I mean, you're looking at being here for probably another at least 3 months. Assuming that everything it goes perfectly. Uh, Pappy. Let
Cheers.
me find it. And this would only be something that you could do. Make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check. That's perfect. So you detect in the village, you have your bioscanner, and in the village and in the surrounding forest, the entire time you picked up very, very minimal trace amounts of the spore in the air, which is corroborated by what you found when you initially landed. The spore levels in the air are, if this is supposed to be such a major hive of activity for the Deepnight Entity, it seems very strange that the spore levels are so low. However, when you followed a tracksuit to the cave, those spore levels around the cave jumped way up, like way up. But nowhere else on the planet are you seeing that. It seems contained to these areas right around that cluster.
All right, I share that with the team, obviously, and yeah, I mean, like, I wish I had a means of like communing with the things. I want to ask it questions at this point. I'm like, I am so curious, but at the same time, like, I get it because, like, all of the death.
Yeah, their sidebar is called "Yes, but where's the funeral parlor?"
Huh.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys, I don't know what you want to do. You've been invited to this city up here. You also know that there's another city up here in the very cold north that when your probe drone went there, they shot firearms at it. They actually have black powder style firearms, and they actually hit the probe drone.
Isn't that the one that we landed near? I thought we landed near that one, and that's where we started doing our digging.
No, this where you did your digging is this bare area down here, but up north when you were in orbit and you set down the probe drone, they actually shot at it, and they they saw it. You could see that they saw it. They took cover and purposely shot at it. So
Oh, well, I want to go there.
they acted the complete opposite of everybody else that you've met here.
I want to go there. It's probably super cold. The entity can't really like flourish up there. Let's go there.
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, Mel. Any?
Yeah, that was one to go there and then have them burn me alive. So yeah.
Okay, so Pappy, you can go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check. And I guess the question for Pappy is like, what's your approach? Like, you're flying in. Are you coming in hot and setting down, or are you trying to be as gentle about this as possible?
Seeing as they shot at the drone, I'm definitely not flying in like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna come, let's say, probably on a low vector, land a little bit of ways out of like direct eyesight,
Okay.
and maybe we can 2-foot it in.
Okay.
It's either that or I bring us in like right to the center of them and like hey, we mean you no harm. Pew 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 with their small arms that aren't going to affect our shuttle at all.
That's true.
And then we fly away. They shoot at us. We come back. They shoot us again. Fly away. Come back. They shoot us, and then we light them up.
You see that man hanging out of the very large starship with the shotgun? He didn't want to come here anyway.
I say on the third trip, we just shoot whoever shoots at us, like instant targeting. Shoot, bam. Next.
True. That's true. Yeah, go ahead and give me a piloting plus dex check.
Did we decide on a do a flyby or a land outside and walk in option?
Yeah, I mean, Mel wants to light everything on fire.
No, I was going to go talk, meet whatever entities up there, and get some background, and then do a download with our guys, and then they'll set me on fire.
Okay. So,
That was for the big city, not for this one up in the north.
Oh, I thought the thing from the north was the only big city.
no, there is this big city. There was the ruins and remains of what appears to be that used to be another city. And when you guys were in orbit and sent down your probe drone, they actually pointed at it. They were scared of it. They took cover and then they opened fire on it. And they're the only ones that you've seen in person. Everybody else that you've seen on the planet so far, they all use bows and stone knives. Those guys up north, they actually had some kind of black powder firearm.
We definitely.
Sorry, what was that? You kind of broke up there.
Those are the ones we should talk to.
That's what I said.
Let me find them. Here it is. So, Pappy, you bring the scout ship in and kind of set down a little ways outside of the city ruins. This does not appear like a city. I mean, of course, in the course, you fly over the other city, and the other city, of course, looks fairly. I mean, it's primitive, but it's advanced with its man-made canals, and it's got these 3 pyramids, and it still looks, tech level 1. Approaching this city, however, and setting down just outside of its perimeter, these buildings look more along the lines of tech level, or were tech level 5 or 6. They're all in ruins, though. There are some that look like they were skyscrapers that have tumbled. Nothing is completely together as it once was. But it's clear that this city was probably somewhere between tech level 4 and 6. Somewhere in that range. And setting down, it's hard to. You're in a 200-ton ship. I mean,
That's why I went with sit down like a ways away and walk up, not like sit down like out just outside. I'm like, we're gonna sit down like some distance and hoof it,
right.
or at least vehicle it.
Yeah, you are able to set down, and you have not drawn any undue attention to yourselves. There are no shots that ring out and bounce off the hull, and you guys can hoof it in. How are you going equipped, Mel? What are you? I assume you're continuing to wear the HEV suit. What are you packing for equipment?
Flame rifle, my axe, and then a small sub.
Okay. What about Sarda?
I'm going in with the vac suit, flame rifle, pistol, and stunner.
Okay. And Pappy?
Backsuit laser.
Gotcha. So you guys are pretty much going in loaded for bear. So as you are kind of making your way towards, you can see that it is cold here. Not complete tundra, but there are snow patches on the ground. The wind has picked up a little bit here. Go ahead and make anybody who wants to can make a recon plus intellect check.
Yep, I don't see a fucking thing.
Pappy noticed it. You notice on your so Pappy, as you guys are coming up, I would imagine you probably have your bioscanners out sniffing. You see that up here there is no presence of spores in the air. None. Zero.
Well, I approve.
And so you're kind of approaching this city. You can see that there are in a couple of places, like similar to this right here, there are some small tent-like lean-tos that are set up, and you can from the distance you can see that there are a couple of people in one of these lean-tos. It looks almost like a hunter's blind. And these are probably a good kilometer from the edge of this ruined city. What do you guys want to do?
Do we get the impression that those black powder rifles they shot at us, or like muskets or whatever they were were rifled? That were 1,000-meter shot is, while a long one, theoretically possible.
Let's see here. I don't. That's a good question. Take a look. What's it say?
It might inform our approach.
That's true. It says. I would say that no, they're not rifled. In fact, they suffer from a DM -1 to all attacks because of that. And to reload, they take 2d3 minor actions. I mean, I am looking at the right thing, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say that these are probably a little bit larger caliber than most antique rifles that you're used to. Standard antique rifle, black powder rifle, does 3D -3. These are doing 3D, so these are a little bit bigger ball.
Yeah. My black powder gun is a 50 cal, so
yeah, that's what I had too.
Big.
I had a 50 cal. Man, the first time I lit that off, that was an eye opener. So yeah, you've got this obvious hunter's blind that you have noticed, and it's about a click from the edge of the city. How do you guys want to go about this? Do you want to approach the blind, or make your way for the city?
I opt for like the kind of just approach out in the open, but without like the big ship or something that's scary, but maybe with like the universal kind of like hands up, hey, we don't actually mean you harm. I don't know if that's universal, but it feels like it should be.
Okay. How does everybody else feel about that?
Yep.
I'm
Approach.
just saying the HEVs quite able to turn away some of this damage, so let's go.
Okay, hold on just a second. check something. No. Interesting. Huh. I can fix it. Okay. Everybody give me a recon plus intellect check.
Okay, not rolling well today.
I don't know if it matters. I've got telescopic and infrared vision.
Yes.
I have to get better toys. God damn.
Wow, you all just biffed it. I don't know that she's going to be much better. Well, evidently she is. So, let's see here. All right, everybody give me an initiative roll.
Fuck.
Mel's rolling great. Okay. Looks like Pappy is the winner again. So, you guys are kind of, approaching this blind. Are you doing it? How are you doing it? Are you doing it stealthily, or are you just you're or like Pappy was saying, holding up your hands in the universal sign of peace? How are you doing this?
But that's what I had intended.
Okay.
I'm at the low ready.
Okay. Pappy.
I mean, I'm all like I stick by the roll, walk up, hands up. But if I get shot at, I'm gonna place a shot real close to its head and be like, "Don't do that again."
So you guys are making your way up. You got your hands up. Mel's kind of at the ready, and almost
Low ready. I'm at the low ready.
almost like one with the ground. You see this young woman, female of the people of Terminus, stand up, and she puts the barrel of her black powder rifle directly to the side of Pappy's head and cocks the hammer back and says something that you don't quite make out. she's speaking a slightly different dialect than the rest of the people. But Pappy, you kind of get the feeling of it is similar to if you take another step, I'll blow your head off kind of feeling.
That seems logical.
That was the vibe I got. Yeah.
So, how are you guys handling this? What are you saying? What are you doing? She got one over. She surprised Pappy. So, Sarda, what are you doing?
Keep holding my hands up and just sort of. Actually, I'm gonna reach out telepathically.
Okay.
This could really backfire. I just basically want to convey an emotion of peace and calm.
Okay, so you are going empathic.
Which I don't think is too difficult to do.
Telepathy. So make a telepathy plus psi check for telepathy. You need a 6 or better.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Ugh.
Oh, and that's a snake eyes.
Ugh. Oh no!
Oh, yeah, trying to get me killed. I'm just playing.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's great. I purposely chose telepathy because I figured it was going to be much easier than telepathy.
Let's see here. 10. She gets this wave of empathy from you. And she gets this wave of empathy from you and brings the butt of the rifle around to clobber Pappy. But Pappy ducks at the last second, and she whiffs it over and then brings the rifle back, and now it's aimed at Pappy's chest. And she rapidly spouts off a litany of what probably is mixed of shock and mixed with expletives. But she's looking at Sarda with the gun pointed at Pappy's chest, and she has a look on her face like she knows what Sarda tried to do. Mel, what are you doing?
I'm going to say it slowly, because I know it's going to be in a different dialect coming out of the translator, right?
Okay. Yes.
So slowly she might be able to pick it up. Your round is not going to make it through his suit, and I bring my gun up, but this one will put several holes in you. Drop it.
Make a persuasion. Persuasion plus. I mean, normally, yeah, persuasion plus social, but you can make it with a boon. Ooh, look at the big intimidation.
Booyakasha!
Look at the big intimidation on Mel. I was double checking to see if there were 2 6s in there, but no. So Mel says this slowly, and the voice of the translator comes out, matching his cadence, and she kind of looks, and the sound, of course, is coming out of the watch, his mobile comm on his wrist. And she kind of looks, and she recognizes the language, and she then kind of speaks in a broken version of that dialect, and says, "Who sent you?" And she points at Sarda, and she says, "You must be of the Dweller."
We've been fighting the Dweller on many worlds.
We're from the Third Imperium.
So that, yeah, the Third Imperium means nothing to her.
Well, it's not the entity.
That's true. And so, Pappy, this gun barrel is still pointed at your chest, but as soon as she hears a known dialect come from the wristwatch, you note that her grip on the rifle is relaxed a bit. What are you doing?
I would like to disarm her, like do one of those like movie style house.
Okay.
But then, like, instead of pointing it at her, like hold it out back to her, like through the thing, no harm.
Okay, so that would be a melee unarmed plus your choice, either dex or strength. I mean, technically, I guess that would be a grapple.
I was like, let me not go melee because I don't have that. I don't have melee. So I would like to change my plan because I don't have melee, so I can't do that. I like to be the movie star, but I'm not the movie star.
I mean, you could try. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you're -3.
Well, thankfully, Jack of all trades, so -2.
There you go. So you're only at -2.
Why the hell not? Let's go for it. A melee at -2.
No snake eyes. No snake eyes. Well, it's not snake. It's not snake. So you reach over and you grab the barrel of the gun, and she she starts to fight you for it.
I let off a full burst in the air.
Okay.
Yours are flechette. Yours are flechette, so it's not nearly as exciting to them.
So Mel lights off around in the air, and Pappy's
I don't have a flechette. I've got a sub.
Yeah, he's got a sub. Yeah, go subby. Tick 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 tick.
Yeah, compared to what they're shooting, I mean that's nothing compared to intimidation.
That's true.
Other than 4 rounds just went off, and she got 1.
That's right. That's a good point. He lights off the Gausebi in the air. Pappy's got the barrel, and she's fighting to maintain the rifle, and it goes off. And Pappy takes a round from the black powder rifle right in the chest. Now, what's your protection on your vac suit, Pap?
Oh no!
Let's see here.
Like 12.
I've got an HEV and it's 15.
It's exactly 10. He's got I believe he's using the general purpose vac suit.
Oh, mine's 15 on the HEV.
And so, Pappy, you take 5 points to your endurance.
I just look at her and go, what the hell?
And she, as soon as the round goes off, she lets go of the rifle and is now looking at Mel, kind of shocked, and it's obvious she didn't mean to pull the trigger. I mean, it's a black powder rifle, so
I'm just to keep the intimidation going. I shoot another burst and like I have more.
Okay, so she kind of holds her hands up and Pappy, you've been shot. How bad? You take 5 points to endurance. How bad are you?
Been a while. I gotta look for that. Where is my endurance?
Page.
If it says I have a rating of 7.
Oh, he's
so
fine.
you have 2 left. You're okay. He's got like a big bruise under across his chest, probably just a bright purple under his vac suit, but he's okay. Probably got the wind knocked out of him, and she holds up her hands and says that she apologizes. She didn't mean to do that. Those are the
Fair.
first things that come out of her. I'm sorry. What was that?
Sorry for grabbing your gun. Are we okay?
And she continues to hold her hands up, and she says she is wary. She's got, out of the corner of her eye, she keeps an eye on Mel. She's aware that his gun can shoot more than hers, and she points again at Sarda, and she says, "How did you do that if you're not of the Dweller?"
Fighting the Dweller.
So she tells you that the people of Rainshadow once rose up against the Dweller, and she turns and points at the skyline of this ruined city, and she just says Rainshadow.
Doesn't look like that rebellion went so well. I say to the team.
And she's still like she's got her hands up. She understands that she's outnumbered. She's used the one shot that she had in the rifle, and she's kind of resigned.
She's gonna be somewhat impressed that he took a round straight in the fucking chest and he's still up.
Yeah, but she's a little surprised at that, but she's not overly shocked.
However,
she doesn't.
You're gonna need a severe hosing down and more booster shots.
And
I just look at you and go, "You're gonna make me pay for that, aren't you?"
You're gonna need a Hello Kitty Band-Aid and some Bactine for that bruise. She is surprised that he took the shot directly to the chest, and the look on her face initially was like, "Oh shit!" Like she didn't exactly mean to kill him, but then seeing that he's still standing, that his suit sucked up most of that. She's not overly shocked that that's possible. And
the legends speak of this technology.
More or less, yeah.
We're outside, right?
Yes.
And so what I'll do is I will say this is what we use against the plant creature, and I'll shoot my flame rifle up in the air.
Okay.
To make the burst 3 explosion of fire.
So yeah, big fireball goes up. So she does kind of shy away from that, and she keeps her hands up, and she tells you that if you want to, she says, if you choose to spare me, I can guide you into Rainshadow and introduce you to others like me. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay.
So she kind of kind of relaxes a bit, still kind of keeping her eye on Mel, and leads you guys into this ruined city of Rainshadow. And as she's leading you in, you can see that this is less like a city and more like a scene out of Mad Max. Like people are are living in hovels. They are living in burned out husks of buildings. You can see that skyscrapers have collapsed. At one point, the city had, ferrocrete roads. There were, plasteel buildings. Everything that you would expect from a TL4 to 6 society. And as you're kind of walking in, she's kind of reassuring people, because initially everybody scatters like roaches when a light gets turned on. They're all taking cover. But she reassures some of them. Some of them are older. They're not able to run like the other ones. They've got, barrels, burn barrels that are like hobos on a street corner that they're staying warm by. She calms them down, and she's explaining. She says that that at one time, the people of Terminus Point had technologies similar to yours. It didn't say exactly like yours, but similar, and that there was a die-off of vegetation in this region after it seems that all of the people on the world seem to all come to the same consensus at the same time to abandon their cities, and the people of Rainshadow chose not to. And the Dweller was never really very powerful here because of the lack of vegetation and whatnot, because we're so far north. She understands perfectly why there's not vegetation. Their crops and whatnot that they grow here are very minimal because of the cold weather. She understands that perfectly. And she says that they really have survived by hunting small animals, and some of the deeroids that like a caribou style deeroid that is prevalent here. She just tells you that everybody else decided that they were going to leave their cities, and that but the people of Rainshadow decided not to, and they, in response to that, the Dweller ordered other people on the planet to attack their city. And there was a great battle, and this is the remains of what was left of Rainshadow. And beyond that, after they destroyed the city pretty much, all the people just turned around and went back to doing what they were doing before, farming. They created their villages, and at this point, the Dweller kind of leaves them alone. They are no longer a concern to the Dweller or to the people of Terminus. Do you have any questions for her? What are you guys doing? She
How
brings
long
you
ago
in.
was that?
Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check. I mean, she's talking about it like it was yesterday. Mel got it. Pappy got it. And Sarda got it. So she's talking about it like it happened yesterday. As you guys are coming in, you can see that there are little areas underneath, partially burned out buildings, and they've got a little campfire in there, and then there's a couple of adults that are talking to a bunch of children around this campfire, and on the walls you can see that they have basically scrawled out their history. I mean, she's talking about it as if it happened yesterday, but you can see from these murals that have been scrawled on the walls over time that this probably happened hundreds, if not 1,000 years ago.
It seems so recent considering all the things.
Right. Uh, the other thing that you note is that now that you're in here and the people are, she's kind of placated the people that you're okay. They do offer Pappy a bit of first aid. But they fail. But they are concerned. She has one of their elders try look over Pappy, and the consensus among the elders is you've got a bad bruise. Um, the other thing that you note is that they are very interested in the stuff that you have, and they are unlike other places, because if you remember, you didn't see any signs of industry or mercantile trade or anything like that on the planet. Here, these people are very interested in the stuff that you have. And one of them, after she kind of describes to them in their own dialect, what has happened, and when she met you, they're very interested in Mel's submachine gun, and they're one of them comes up with like 6 black powder rifles, offering it in trade for your SMG. Of course, they don't understand that it runs on a power pack.
I attempt to explain that you need a completely different style. You need smokeless powder and a completely different machined round to go in this thing.
Yes.
And a power pack.
Like that the real life one. They found that what was it? The 10 millimeter driver bits for a screwdriver. That Gauss rifle will shoot him. They're like, oh, we ran out of ammunition, so we just threw a bunch of Phillips head driver bits into it. Works fine. Yeah, so they they don't quite understand, but what they understand is that it's something that they covet even more. They're like, oh well, we're obviously not giving enough, and so they're all you guys are inundated with all sorts of items for trade. Most of them are just leather hides, black powder rifles, very nicely made, flint knives, things like that. That's about the black powder rifles is about the level of their technology at this point. But obviously, from what you're seeing of the ruins of this city, they were capable of a lot more. They are a little weirded out that you are able to speak their language, and they are curious to know about how are you they unlike the other people, they assume that you came from somewhere else because you don't look like them, and they're not they've cut off contact with the dweller, and so they are very curious, how do you understand our language? How do you guys respond to that?
We've traveled and learned many languages. We have many different crew members from different races. I'll bring up some photos of our crew members and show them holographically.
You're gonna really pop their noodle with holograms. Holy shit! We're getting a full Disney presentation here. Yeah, I mean you pop up holograms and they all kind of back off for a second. They warily accept this answer. So essentially, this hunter that accidentally shot Pappy. Her name is Yavni. And she's fairly young. You know, not very big, but tough and wiry. She, apologizes again to Pappy. It was not her intent to actually shoot him. Her intent was to intimidate and bring you guys in for questioning. And she now admits that this was probably a better route to things. But the people of Rainshadow have to be on their guard. They don't trust those that have come from other parts of the planet because of their contact with the Dweller. Hold on here. Do this. No, that's not. I don't even know what that does. So you learn that you've obviously seen this. This area that Rainshadow lies in is a fairly cold and dry area. Not quite a desert, but it receives much less rain and snowfall than other areas. It probably further north in the ice cap, there's probably a bit more water and rainfall as far as moisture goes. But it is cold. There's little vegetation, and you are, like I said, your bioscanners are picking up no trace of the entity. And the longer that you stay here, you learn that at one point you are able to pin down this was a Teal 5 civilization. Seems that this city was probably here for several centuries before whatever happened. The people here of Rainshadow have mastered some cultivation and husbandry, so they have domesticated some of the deroids and they keep them penned up. They're pretty much able to take care of themselves. There's only a few hundred people here, maybe 400 total that are living in this burned out city. They all have a fairly territorial attitude to themselves. They don't want the others of the planet to come here because they as they say it, they're all of the Dweller. They use a standard antique hunting rifle that has been converted to be a black powder and flintlock mechanism. So at one point, these hunting rifles originally were just a bolt action with probably a magazine, but they've since kind of modified them to be a flintlock system. For the most part, they use knives, and they have reworked metal that they've found in the city to be made into spear points. Mostly beyond the fact that the others of the planet are of the Dweller, the people of Rainshadow are really concerned about anybody moving into the area because then they would have to be in competition for food because food is a very limited supply here. And so the biggest thing that you take away from these people is that they are basically outside the influence of the entity, is what they're telling you. And you're able to corroborate that because there are no spores here. Like the entity has no presence here.
Is it just because of the weather, or are they doing something else to keep it out?
They're not really doing anything, but But I mean, just looking around, there's very little vegetation here, and so there would be little to no reason that the entity would want to have anything to do with the ice caps. The people, of course, don't particularly understand that, but they are more or less of a rebellious mindset concerning the dweller, and they know exactly where the dweller resides, and they will tell you point blank that the dweller lives in the city, and they just refer to it as the city. I mean, everybody knows the city, and so they tell you that that's where the dweller resides, and that the people of Rainshadow would never travel south to go where the dweller resides. So what are you guys thinking?
How big a nuke?
Nothing
we
that I
can-
want them to hear.
Before we nuke the planet, can we save any of them?
You can talk amongst yourselves. I mean, there's like 400 people here. I mean, yeah. I mean, it would make quarters quite cramped on Revelation, but I mean,
We'd have to completely scan them. I mean, we don't know what spores they may be carrying, or in their bloodstream, or in their DNA, or
Mel and Pappy, and we'll use this as a place to break for tonight. Mel and Pappy, roll 2d plus your intellect modifier, and Sarda, roll telepathy plus psi. Wow, look at the big brains on Mel and Pappy. Excellent. So all of you are able to resist it, but you receive a telepathic and telepathic message once again, and this time it's still welcoming you to the city. With there seems to be a desire to want to get to know you, to welcome you to Terminus. But there's also a tinge of regret and sadness that you've had to encounter the people of Rainshadow. The overall feeling that you get as far as the regret goes is not that it's not a regret that you found Rainshadow. It's more of a regret about what transpired with Rainshadow.
Okay.
Like the entity feels some sadness at the way the people of Rainshadow were treated, perhaps.
Okay.
And I think that that's where we will break for tonight, and we'll continue the very strange mysteries of Terminus Point next week at 6 o'clock on Friday night.
sounds good.
That's good. That's fun.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.